Since Psychopomp Gold was released this month, I thought it would be a good idea to return to their previous game Psychopomp to re-experience the events throughout so that I could try to wrap my head around what exactly the story was about before diving into Gold since I didn't understand it originally. If you haven't heard about Psychopomp, it's a very niche and very short dungeon crawling horror game with some point and click elements as you traverse through the mind of an insane girl, who you unfortunately cannot fix. Psychopomp Gold is pretty much the same as the free version with a tiny bit of extra features and not a sequel but rather what seemed to be a precursor showcasing at the very end of the game, Psychopomp 2. If you've played Psychopomp, you've already played the Gold version. It felt kinda deceptive and a complete waste of my time. This is a story about a schizophrenic girl that believes that something has been hidden from her that she cannot see that everybody else can. So she creates a special helmet that will help her see the true reality of her world more clearly but unlock something much more. There she finds out that there are catacombs beneath every home and building as she delves deeper to find the truth that she is seeking. Many people have different interpretations of what this story is about, and many have struggled to express their opinions since they are unable to connect many of the metaphors. One example would be the Greek philosopher Plato and his allegory of the cave, in which those who have been abused and spent their entire existence shackled looking at a blank wall will have seen shadows emerge from the inner wall. Basically meaning that these shadows and sounds depicted by the girl are not a realistic picture of the real world, but more of a manifestation of her own mind which is being amplified by the helmet. Which I also believe is quite possibly our viewing mechanism to see what she sees. She was most likely abused by her family and bullied by her peers, but what little information is mentioned throughout the school, add on top of the fact that this may have drove her crazy, makes it even more difficult to piece together the story of whether everything happening here is real or just the visions of a crazed girl's mind. Regardless, it was still a very unique experience, that being the base game, whether or not you could understand it or not. The gameplay, while not particularly engaging, will definitely leave you with an unsettling sensation, especially as you turn every corner, getting surprised by a creature hidden within the shadows. If you do take the time to interact with a number of the characters long enough, you might reveal some hidden speech, maybe a hidden location, and cryptic clues to unlock more of the new features added in, such as the telephone numbers and the girl's home, which has been locked behind several keys hidden throughout each level. While the standard game is only 30 to 40 minutes long, I can't say that I was thrilled to repeat the same game with Psychopomp Gold, only to uncover nothing particularly unique. If you know what you're doing, you can race through the game without trying to find any of the secrets. It's not that bad, but the problem I had was with the 2 extra levels being merely long backtracks and walking simulators that do nothing but waste your time and offer little to the main story when compared to simply getting 3 eggs. You'll get the same multiple endings that you did with the base game with the addition of the trailer for Psychopomp 2, in which you play as a young man seemingly from another world, as the powers of the girl seem to have influenced his world from above before cutting out to a basic trailer of the next game. I really didn't like this. There's a lot of psychological and existential stuff going on here, and a lot of people can relate to the main character because of it. Initially, I couldn't comprehend anything since it felt more like the ramblings of somebody who was insane until you found that veil and you were able to lift it, revealing the meat of the entire story, which eventually made you realize what this game was trying to convey to you. There are a ton of allegories and Greek philosophies hidden within. Few people play this game or even know that it exists, and although the original game was free, Gold isn't, and it didn't offer much in terms of ambience or story. This literally felt like something you would only buy to support the developer rather than getting something actually new. Does this imply that the game is bad? No, it's an interesting experience, but I have to go with the free version because once again, nothing significant is offered here aside from the trailer to the second game, at least that's how I interpreted it, and the secrets that just give you more information about her life. And of course, the third person mode is unlocked at the end of the game, which means that it wants you to play the same game multiple times to achieve this, which I don't want to do.